to those things. So let me give you some examples. I'd read an article a while ago about a gentleman in England, and he wanted to do a survey on luck. He wanted to figure out if some people really were luckier than other people. And you've heard that before, and you may know people that good things happen to them all the time, and may know other people, it seems like there's a rain cloud over them, and nothing ever right happens to them. So this is not something to be confused with chance. Chance is going to the lottery and picking numbers and hoping your numbers come up. Luck is really about how you react to situations. So he took a group of people and who had been in car accidents, and he interviewed them. And the first thing he did was, before he did the interview, he asked them to self-select whether they felt they were lucky people or unlucky people. And once he split them up during the interview he had with them, he asked them about their car accidents. And he asked them what happened and how they felt about that. Well, something he started to realize, that the people who self-selected themselves as being unlucky people, what do you think their comments were about their car accident? They got in the car accident, they injured themselves, their insurance went up, they couldn't afford another car, and they really had a very negative approach to a car accident, which is, understandable. Now, the people who had considered themselves lucky people, when they talked about the car accident they had been in, they talked about the fact that they were still alive, their children weren't in the car when it happened, they can always buy another car, the insurance, it's only money, and at the end of the day, their health and safety is the most important thing. So the same thing happened to these people, the unlucky and the lucky people. The difference was how people reacted to the situation they were in. And so if you want to come back and tie that to emotional intelligence, they chose how they felt about it. They chose their feelings, and they chose the actions they were going to take to react to these situations. I had a similar experience a few months ago. I was on the interstate at an exit, stopped in my car waiting to get off, and a bus rammed the back of my car. And I remember this article, and I remember what they had talked about. And so I got out of the car, and I felt okay, but I still wanted to be sure. I went to the hospital and got x-rays to make sure that nothing had happened. And so the ambulance took me, they tied me to the board and loaded me up. And during the experience, I was thinking to myself, to begin with, my car's a lease. I wonder how much I'm going to be charged for this. It's a Friday. My weekend is ruined. But then it started to kind of dawn upon me, okay, Dan, you know what? You're still alive. Your kids were not in the car when this happened. You can get another car. And what it turned out to be was I had a great experience in the ambulance. I'd never been in an ambulance before, and I got to see how our Reedy Creek Improvement District, our medics here at Walt Disney World, handled guests who had been in accidents. And so I turned a pretty negative situation into a learning situation. And sure enough, the insurance took care of my car. And today I was able to get a different car, and everything's okay. So once again, I'll just make sure that you understand that you're going to have to make a choice on whether you see things in a positive light or a negative light. And that really comes back to emotional intelligence. So when things happen to you, really think about, A, how could these be worse? B, what am I going to learn out of this? And C, how could I have avoided this from happening to me? And those become self-fulfilling prophecies. Number 3, you are not your emotions. So I think there's a clear distinction between what you think and what you do. And there's this theory I have, which is the gap theory, and it applies to all parts of your life. At Walt Disney World, we have fantastic marketing commercials. People hear about the experience they have at Walt Disney World, and then when they arrive here, they have their actual experience. And what I tell my team is you need to manage that gap. What are your expectations, and what actually happens? And we need to make the experience of Walt Disney World just as good as the commercial is. And as you all have seen in the commercials, it's never raining. We always have your reservation. There are no lines. Everything goes really well. And the reality of our operation, things happen. And it's up to us in operations to narrow the gap. You can apply the same to your personal life. When people ask me, Dan, would you like to be a great father? Do you want to be a great spouse? Would you like to be a great son? We always talk about I think we have a visualization of what we want to be, and then we have our actions. So some people say, I really want to be fit, and I want to feel good, and I want to be in good shape. But then what do? We go out, we eat unhealthy foods, we don't work out, we don't manage stress properly. So I think one of these pieces is you really need to figure out what the priorities are in your life and decide what you want to manage. Make a vision for what you want to be, and then follow up with those actions. Because a lot of times we will have negative thoughts. We will have things that go wrong. But once again, until you act upon those, they do not come to life. And you can make the choice on how you want to be. And once again, that comes back a little bit to the self-awareness conversation that we had talked about. And the last thing is confidence. How to be confident. Emotional intelligence, a lot of this is about confidence, because in today's world, a lot of people are looking at you all the time, and they're judging you on your performance, and we're always under pressure to deliver results and to be able to live up to our responsibilities. And a piece of that is from confidence. Now, when I talk about confidence, this is not about a huge ego, that you're cocky and you can do whatever you want to do, but really confidence is about believing in yourself and not second-guessing yourself in your decisions. So I think there's a few techniques I use. One is when I make decisions in my organization, I talk to lots of people. I invite my direct reports. I invite my cast members. I invite lots of different people to give me their opinion on a certain topic. Now, I always tell them I'm going to weigh their decision as I make mine, but at the end of the day, I can't delegate that decision. It's my responsibility to make the decision. But I think people love to be involved, and as you ask questions and you ask people what their opinions are, people love to be involved in the decision. They like to know that you respect them enough to hear from them. And you're going to learn a lot about your decision, and you may learn things you didn't know previously. I think in today's world, a lot of leaders feel that they need to be strong and they need to look strong. And if they ask questions, they're going to be seen as weak or not being competent. And it's important that you go ahead and open yourself up to your people, because when you do that, they can see you're going to make better decisions, and then you can own that decision at the end of the day. And I think the last piece is sort of this self-perception. A few years ago, we had a gold medal Olympian came and spoke with us, and her name is Sheila Tarbina. She was in the last Olympics and competed in the triathlon. The Olympics before, she competed in swimming, and I believe it was either 100 or 200 sprint. And one of her problems was every time she got up on the stand just before she dove into the water for competition, these negative thoughts crept in. She looked at the other competitors and thought to herself, I'm not as strong as they are, I'm not as fast, I don't have as much experience, I shouldn't be here right now, I don't deserve to be here. And it always impacted her ability to come through and compete when it counted the most. And something she talked to us about was visualization. And she had talked with a coach about it. And so before she won the gold medal in this competition, she said she looked around and then she looked down at herself. And the last thought she had before she dove off to win the gold medal was, man, do I look good in this bathing suit? So do not underestimate the ability to motivate yourself and get yourself to a good place. And to kind of wrap this all up for you, the theme of this is you need to learn how to control your own emotions. How do you take things into perspective? Do you overreact to things? How do you manage stress? Are you able to do it through meditation, through exercise, through talking to others? And once you're balanced and you're in a good place, you will be in a great position to be able to lead others in the organization. Thanks for your time today. I hope you enjoyed the video, and good luck on your course.
I hope you all enjoyed the first installment of our guest speaker lecture with Dan Cockrell. He shared some very interesting stories. I know I certainly enjoyed it, and I hope you did as well. I hope that this information shared by Dan will help you in building your skill set for your current position and those you seek in the future.